Yo guys, this is Ryan. Hopefully you're having a great day. So today we're gonna talk about the movement itself of MGTO and potentially the trap associated with the movement itself. So don't get me wrong, first of all, I think overall MGTO, MGTOW, for those who don't know, it's a movement where men going their own way, where men forgetting the women, stop chasing the women and just start going after their goals and start going after whatever goals they desire, whatever the desires that they have. And overall, I think the movement itself is actually pretty interesting to look into. I think it's actually is great. However, in a lot of cases, what I found out that any movement, any ideology, anything else, if you stretch it all the way up and you get to way far end of that movement, people either get stuck or it's usually not healthy. So when I released the video talking about a trap of self-improvement, to the point where self-improvement is a great ideology and that's what I live on by myself. The idea to be improving yourself every single day is absolutely fantastic. However, when you get into that notion, you always sometimes you can have the thoughts of you're not good enough, you're not good enough, you're not good looking enough, skinny enough, you're not making money enough, and you don't love yourself as much. And then you wonder how some people could be so positive and attract so much greatness, so much awesomeness to them. And you're like, well, I kind of wish I was that guy. So with the MGTO and having a gaming channel with a 32,000, 31,000 subscribers gives me actually a good amount of people who actually reached out to me and said, hey, Reinhardt, I was trapped in the self-improvement motion. And one of those videos I posted, and they basically told me like, hey, what can I do? And the funny thing is I found out is a few of those guys were actually a movement from MGTOW. And I did actually research prior to that. Me breaking up with my girlfriend in December, both of us kind of broke up at the same time. I was going on that path of, okay, I gotta get my life on track. I gotta get back in the gym. I gotta work out. I gotta do this, and all of a sudden, and you start getting into the dating game, and you start checking out some other dating profiles, and you're like, holy crap, maybe I am not good looking enough. So part of me wanted to get into the MGTOW. And some of their posts that I read are very illuminating and very good in terms of from a core being of the man. Now let me tell you what I actually agree with MGTOW. First of all, the purpose of the man should never be a woman. It never should be. The purpose of the man should be, for example, my purpose. I'll tell you my purpose. Right now, my goal is within 2 months lose good amount of weight so I could actually start helping people to lose weight as well. So that's one of my goals. Second goal is to actually finish Gamers League website in terms of content putting out. It's a gaming website. Third one is open up 2 additional businesses that I'm actually already in the process of doing. One for the website design and website making, and the other one is actually for reselling cars. So with that said, I am really extremely busy at the moment. But those vehicles that I'm trying to open up is because I want to have my own freedom of having my own business. And the reason why I want to have that is because I want to find the right woman for myself. I want to create a family, a rich, great family. I want to have children. I want to have kids. And I would like to be that father that would be around their kids, that can teach their kids, that can steer the kids into the right direction. So that's my ideology. But nowhere in that sentence I want blonde, 5'7", 5'6", relatively skinny with a great ass and a great tits. Okay? There's nowhere in that motion I have where I want specific person, specific profile, because it does not work from my experience. The sometimes not the best looking women are actually the best partners. And I'm not talking about the best, like talking down or anything else like that. But from my experiences, and I've dated a few models, I've dated a few really good looking women, and it's nothing but a hassle and a high maintenance. And it's boring. So, the purpose of the man should always be the goals that he sets up for himself. I found out through just multiple times, and it's just weird. In 1920, I wanted to have a family. Then I went away from it and I kind of got, I guess, seduced to the Western civilization, my friends, where gotta improve, gotta work, got myself a corporate job, started making a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I found out that the family is the best virtue for the man, at least in my case. So with that said, I agree with the MGTOW movement that don't make a woman center of your universe. Because if you will make it a center of your universe, you will be devoured by that universe. One time I had this case where a husband and a wife, they went shopping. And the wife said, hey, I need you to pick up the cleaning supplies. And the husband's like, well, where are they? Where are they? And the women all of a sudden, oh my God, I do everything myself, huh? Fine, I'm gonna do it while you just stand here and do nothing. And she angrily pushed out the cart. And to me, it's like, why you let her disrespect yourself so much? Don't you have any self-dignity? And in that case, I could understand why men would not want to have that. And they want to have their own freedom and personal choices. With MGTOW, I agree with that. I agree with the notion of self-improvement. However, there's also such things where too much could be a bad thing. Because there are a few MGTOW people. I talked to one of them. I've seen quite a few YouTubes where all they do is just nitpick on every single thing a woman does. From a negative, rationally negative standpoint to the point where it becomes unhealthy. And the reason why I think it's unhealthy because there's a lot of good women out there. I'm 30 years old. I dated quite a few American women. I've dated quite a few Latin American, some Russian. And I'm going to tell you this thing. There's a lot of bad women out there, but there's also a lot of good women out there. And completely alienating yourself from that is the worst thing a man can do. Now, there's a few different cases of MGTOW that I noticed, a few different traps. One of them was one of the Russian pickup artists that I knew. He basically went to the club and picked up a random good-looking girl every single day of every single week. Sorry, my dog is trying to barge in. Sorry for this interruption. So he basically laid with one or two different girls every single week. And I'm like, man, you must have liked women so much, like if you dedicate so much time to them. He's like, no, I fucking hate women. They're nothing but cows. He had so much derogatory things to say. Obviously, he never said it to them. But he had so many derogatory things to say that it was just unbelievable. And he was stuck in that notion where he didn't love himself. He didn't feel good about himself. He was seeking validation from the other women. That he got laid, that he technically ruined, that he... Well, not ruined because they were also up for having some fun times. But technically speaking, it's not the best thing. Not best thing psychologically speaking for women or men to have a lot of different partners. Now, with that said, that's one of those things. The other one I noticed is where men completely like, well, why the fuck bother should I be trying? If I will never ever gonna get married because I don't want to ever have a girlfriend, and I don't want to be a gigolo and waste my time, I'm just gonna play computer games and I'm just gonna eat pizza and not even worry about it. And it's one of those things like, you know what? It's just, I give up. I give up. I am gonna stop trying. And that's also a really, really bad trap. So with that said, what I'm trying to say here is overall MGTOW is a great movement where it helps the man view himself from the side and get his priorities straight. And always reevaluate his priorities how he goes along the life. On the other hand, I do not think that going far too much into that movement is a good thing. Now I get that, man. I get that. That the married men are looking like a saddle horses with the blinds up from Bill Maher that said, keep your husbands in the dark. They're prettier, they're safer that way, right? I get that the man is usually gets portrayed as a freaking buffoon in the cartoons and a lot of advertisements, and the woman is like, oh my god, it's the most amazing thing in the world. But guess what? There's a lot of women say, you know what? Take this control card right here. Be a man in the family. And you so many women that divorce their husbands because they lost their man card. They lost their man card, and women stopped respecting them. So what I'm trying to say here is that the man who goes strong in his life with his priorities, with what he wants to achieve and what he wants to do, the man who does that will get a woman, and he will find plenty of women that want to go along for the ride. But the man who makes a priority of himself to find a good woman will find himself enslaved and shackled by one. That's my 2 cents. Thank you for watching, and I love you guys.